Today, I begin my journey into the unknown depths of the dreaded Porsche 914 hellhole. I'm sure there's worse ones out there, but I can imagine not too many. I knew this area was bad before I bought it, but I wasn't really sure exactly how bad. The whole top of this panel is missing, and I can almost fit my whole hand inside the channel basically. And poking a screwdriver down in here, there seems to be a never-ending stream of rust chunks sitting at the bottom. One thing I wanted to get out of the way first was the remnants of the right engine shelf. This is really all there is left, just bits and pieces of it hanging on here and there. Now, this panel the engine mount is fixed to is a little corroded behind it, but I didn't want to remove it because I wasn't sure I'd be able to get it back in exactly the same spot, which seems pretty important. So I treated the space behind it with some rust remover and then cut out everything around it, basically. Following the corrosion down to the jack points here, this one was just barely hanging on. This is really the worst of the worst under here. Since the other side isn't like this, I'm assuming this is all from the battery. I've read a few things about this, and I actually think I remember George Hussey from Auto Atlanta mention in one of their videos that a common issue with 914s is bad voltage regulators, and they can boil the battery, I guess. So really, 914s get a bad rap for the poor design of this area beneath the battery, but in theory, these hellhole problems could actually have more to do with persistently bad voltage regulators than anything. Inside the cabin, I needed to remove seam sealer to see the full damage here. It looks like at least an inch or more needs to come off the bottom of this inner firewall. I also needed to remove the seam sealer around the door sill so I can see how far the rust goes there. I got to the point where I felt I had to remove the control arm in order to get at more of this area. So as long as it was still mounted, I thought I'd try to remove the axle nut. And it didn't budge at all. Just bent my ratchet. So I just removed the entire arm with the brake disc and axle still attached, and I'll deal with that later. Well, I was really hoping to avoid cutting into this outer body panel in order to get at the outer wheel well, but I couldn't see any other way. I've looked at many other videos and threads of other people doing the same repair, and I couldn't find a single instance where someone has done a repair in this area where they haven't needed to cut away a chunk of the outer body skin here. So, oh well. Since I'm not very confident with my welding, especially with exterior facing panels where the appearance matters, I figured if I cut along these straight lines as straight as I could and then take my time when I weld it back in, that should make it a little easier on myself. As I was banging around in this area, I could see there was enough rust pouring out of this hole that I should remove the jack point and clean up whatever is going on the inside. And the same is true for the suspension console. The further I went with this, it became clearer I needed to remove and replace the entire outer piece here. Another thing I was hoping to avoid, but I figured the more I dig into things, the more I'm finding hidden rust, so I should do it the right way as long as I'm doing it. Plus, they make this entire aftermarket panel anyway, so it's coming off. With that out of the way now, I can see further down inside this tunnel, and I can see the passenger seatbelt mount is also looking pretty bad, so I'll at least have to go that far into it. The worst part of the inside here is the bottom half of this inner corrugated piece. Beyond that, the metal looked salvageable. And that's as much as I felt like I needed to remove. Next, I'll start working on figuring out how to patch things back together. Before I wrap this video up, if you're enjoying these, or if you're not, I could use the feedback. I'm curious to know what you like, what you don't. Maybe you're a person who likes seeing this level of detail, or maybe you just want to see before and after shots. Anyway, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.